the Florida Panthers return to home ice after a pair of road wins in the playoffs.
Here's Matthew Tkachuk into the slot, shot, score! Reinhart! 1-0 Florida!
Top elected officials from both parties meet face-to-face to try and settle the debt ceiling deadlock.
We will have an economic and financial catastrophe.
And former MSD School Resource Deputy Scott Peterson gets ready to start his trial. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Paula Ezel.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Today is Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
A one-goal game between the Cats and Carolina. The Florida Panthers are one win away from the Stanley Cup Finals after Game 3 last night in Sunrise.
The shutout win highlighted Sergei Bobrovsky's insane goaltending, stopping all 32 shots. Sam Reinhart had the only goal of the game, helping the Cats earn a 3-0 series lead.
My teammates did a great job, all those little details, block shots, got good sticks and the gaps and everything, all those small details. So it's definitely a good result for us, and it's a big team effort.
Final score, Cats 1, Carolina 0. A win tomorrow, and the Panthers are in Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1996.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is scheduled to speak before the new Democrat coalition's member lunch today, according to a source close to the matter. This is as leaders in Washington, D.C. scramble to find a solution to prevent a national default. As CNN's John Lawrence reports, that potential default could be less than 2 weeks away.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has said debt limit negotiations with President Joe Biden have been, quote, productive.
We both agree that we need to change the trajectory, that our debt is too large, and I think at the end of the day we can find common ground.
But they still haven't solved the debt limit dilemma.
We need to cut spending, but here's the disagreement. I think we should be looking at tax loopholes and making sure the wealthy pay their fair share.
Leading House conservatives want McCarthy to push the Senate to pass the Limit, Save, Grow bill that got through the House in April, and to halt talks with Biden and the Democrats.
They haven't passed anything, and they're demanding. Nobody comes to the negotiation without having passed something, they haven't brought anything, yet they're making demands.
The GOP is also rejecting the White House's offer to freeze domestic spending at their current levels.
Can anyone point to me a single area where extreme MAGA Republicans have moved off of their position?
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen issued another warning to Congress Monday, saying that it's, quote, highly likely the nation could go broke by June 1st. According to Moody's Analytics, roughly 1 million jobs in the U.S. could be lost if a default lasts a week. More than 7 million jobs may vanish if it continues for 6 weeks. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Congressional Progressive Caucus Chair Pramila Jayapal told CNN the White House could face a, quote, huge backlash if President Biden cuts what she calls a bad deal with Speaker McCarthy.
The man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students is waking up behind bars after facing a judge without much to say. The network's Tanya Jimenez is in the control center this morning.
The man accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students late last year was in court Monday, as his plea was entered into the record. The high-profile murder case appears to be moving quickly and is offering up very few public details, according to some legal experts. One thing is known for sure: a conviction could mean the death penalty.
Brian Kohberger, charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary, remained silent Monday when it came time to enter his plea.
Mr. Kohberger is standing silent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge.
Kohberger did confirm he understood the charges against him.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty? Yes.
Kohberger is charged with killing 4 University of Idaho students last November at an off-campus house in the town of Muskow. Monday's plea comes just days after Kohberger was indicted by a grand jury. Lauda County court records show that those proceedings are being kept under seal. A probable cause affidavit in January focused on Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra seen in a surveillance video near the crime scene. the same kind of car Kohberger was driving when he was stopped by a Washington State University officer last October for running a red light.
I do apologize if I was asking you too many questions about the law.
Investigators seized that vehicle in December and combed it for evidence.
We know from the initial affidavits that there is cell phone data, there is DNA evidence, so that type of evidence is very difficult to defend against.
Prosecutors now have 60 days to announce if they will seek the death penalty. I'm Tanya Jimenez reporting.
In the Control Center, Tanya Jimenez, South Florida Media Network.
The trial of the former sheriff's deputy who was involved in the 2018 Parkland shooting is set to begin next week. Scott Peterson was condemned for failing to pursue the gunman during the shooting. Now he is being charged with 7 counts of child neglect, 3 counts of culpable negligence, and 1 count of perjury. A trial status hearing is scheduled for next Tuesday, May 30th.
This morning, a SpaceX rocket is carrying a former NASA astronaut is docked at the International Space Station. 3 customers paid to join Peggy Whitson in the second all-private mission to the station. The crew left from Kennedy Space Center in Cape Canaveral on Sunday night and reached their destination yesterday morning. They will spend a week conducting experiments with the existing crew members.
The Marlins getting 11 hits up in the thin Rocky Mountain air, but would it be enough for a win?
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Leaders in climate change for over 14 going on 15 years soon.
Urban Paradise in South Florida as a local group works to keep South Florida green. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by PantherTech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Green and Clean, a group of big city environmentalists keeping in touch with nature. The group is called the Urban Paradise Guild, and they're doing some real good here in South Florida.
The network's Hennessy Sepulveda rolled up her sleeves and got a closer look.
What makes an urban paradise? If you ask the Urban Paradise Guild, they'll tell you being climate active is what will get us there. My name is Hennessy Sepulveda with the South Florida Media Network, and today we're going to get our hands dirty as the volunteer and staff of the Urban Paradise Guild teach us what it means to be more climate active.
Being climate active is this what we're doing. Just it's only 3 hours on a weekend. It may not seem like much, but you know, everybody's so into it. We just ended up clearing a 1/4 acre of land. My whole life, I've never done anything like this. I never thought that I'd be volunteering to rip out weeds and things of that nature. and yet here I am, you know? So it feels good.
Some of UPG's main focuses are building up community gardens and eliminating invasive plant species that disrupt natural ecosystems while relying on student volunteers as their main source of manpower.
Student volunteer manpower is everything to UPG efforts. We would be in a very different place if we didn't have our student volunteers. Most of our work is done by student volunteers. We've had a lot of success being one of Miami-Dade College's community partners for over a decade, and that has allowed us to get teams of people every year. We need a lot more people to get involved, and you see the importance of the work that we do. You see how we can have an impact, but it's very small. Then the larger that we grow the organization, the more people we involve, the larger impact that we have.
We've been being the leaders in climate change for over 14, going on 15 years soon. The most important thing is that we're able to fulfill community needs.
The objective is to fight climate crisis through projects that make Miami a better place than it is now. So urban paradise is a phrase that's been around for a long time. We are the definers of our urban paradise here. And so urban paradise is a place that is safe from climate crisis, that has harmony between people and wildlife, where everything can coexist. The initial founding mission was to renaturalize northern Biscayne Bay. We are making these coastlines much more resilient in the face of climate crisis. We are so far behind fighting climate crisis. I should have an army fighting climate crisis with me. We need to be determined, we need to be hardworking, and we need resources. So wake up and smell the carbon.
After a morning of seeing the Urban Paradise Guild in action, we've caught a glimpse of what it looks like to be climate active the UPG way. If you're interested in joining the fight against climate crisis, visit urbanparadiseguild.org to see how you can help build toward an urban paradise. For South Florida Media Network, my name is Hennessy Sepulveda. See you next time.
The Miami Marlins were off to a rocky start in their first game of the series against the Colorado Rockies. The Fish out of the gate were down by 2 in the first inning, but were able to tie the game in the fourth. But they lost their momentum, and the Rockies were able to capitalize, scoring another 2 in the seventh, and the Marlins just couldn't come back. The final score was Marlins 3, Rockies 5. The second game of the series is later tonight at 8:40 p.m. You're watching SFMN Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kelly Sanchez.
I'm Hawa Ezel. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.